Hello beautiful, welcome back to my channel. My name is Bettina and I'm the makeup enthusiast. In today's video I'm going to be sharing with you, I was going to say a few, but there's a fair few products that I am hoping to pan or finish off in 2022. So there's a lot here. It's a big mix of categories this year. I did one of these last year and it was mainly like makeup items, but this year I've included like skincare, like primers, hair care products, just so there's a little bit more of a mix of products in this list. This is not like an exclusive or exhausted list of products that I am wanting to pan in 2022. I will be rotating these items into random projects throughout 22. If you do want to keep up to date on my content, my project pans, my other beauty content, then I hope you'll consider subscribing down below if you do want to keep up to date on all my content. And without further ado, let's jump on into the products. First and foremost, let's start off with this product right here. This product was on my list of products that I wanted to pan in 2021. It's going to go over onto the list for 2022 because this year I only managed to hit pan on it. I did manage to hit pan on it in quite a big way. So my goal for next year at some point, I would really like to get this one completely finished up. It is like around in this corner here where there's still some product. It's getting quite low, the level. And I do think that once I film my products that I've hit pan on in 2021, I want to add this to my list of products that I want to repress. So it's at the point where it's just getting really flaky. I might use it a little bit more, but because I use such a large brush with my bronzers, it's getting a little bit difficult, and it seems like every time I use this product with my bronzer brush, it just like flakes up chunks. So I do think that it's probably at the point where I will repress this, and I'll probably include this in that repressing video. Next is one that's coming back in for yet another year. This will be my third year of panning this product in some way. This is my Too Faced Love Flush Blush Wardrobe, and this year I managed to hit pan on 2 of the last 3 shades. Next year I really want to try and focus on getting this completely used up. I think if I, at some point in my face palette or my Pan That Palette series, at some point I rotate this in for just a couple of months, I might do like short bursts on this one maybe and try and focus on getting these 2 finished up, the ones that I've already hit pan on, and then this one here at least hitting pan, and then maybe rotate it back in at some point. These ones, so the 3 that are empty, it took me the entirety of last year to pan those, so it takes me about 4 months to pan and use up entirely one of these pans. I don't want to dedicate too much time to this because I know that it's getting very old and tiring and boring seeing this constantly in projects, but I do really want to feel that accomplishment of having this one completely panned. So this might be included, I don't know, as maybe just a random quarterly project or something like that in my Pan That Face palette. Another one that I am bringing back over into 2022 at the moment, this product right here, this is my Lime Crime lipstick in the color Choker. I am wearing this on my lips today. This is currently in my Roulette Pan collab and I'm trying to get 50 uses out of it, but I have 2 of these in my collection. This is the first one that I'm trying to pan. Because I have 2 in my collection, I really want to focus on getting at least one of them completely used up. So I think my goal for 2022, I definitely want to at least use up maybe 3 or 4 full-size lipsticks, and this definitely is going to be one of them. So my main focus, I definitely 100% want to get this lipstick completely used up. I haven't chosen the other lipsticks from my collection that I want to focus on, but this one is 100% on that list just because I have 2 of them in my collection. This is actually probably one of the only products like long-term products that I've purchased 2 of. I don't know why I purchased 2, but I really liked the color and they were being discontinued. They were fairly cheap at the time, so I purchased 2 at the time. Haircare items, again, these ones are rolling over. This is my Davines Curl Building Serum. This one is currently in my team project pan just to get use on it before the end of the year. I think it's going to be a very daunting task trying to pan this one or have it completely used up next year. I'm willing to take on the challenge, but it's going to be probably most of the year, I think, with this in the project before I'll see any signs of it being close to being finished. And then this one, I'm including this one in the project, or I'm including this one in this video because based on the current progress so far from this month, I don't think I'm going to have this one panned before the end of the year, and this is my Wave Spray. I only have a fairly small amount left on this, but I do want it to be a priority to have it panned very early in the next year. I was hoping that I would have it done by the end of the year, but I don't think that's going to happen, so my main priority is to get this one done. Generally, I always try and aim for having like 4 to 5 hair care items used up in a year. This year I have failed dismally on that goal, but I have made very good progress on certain items that I have been targeting this year, so it was kind of a fail, but also kind of a good setup for the next year. Hopefully I've laid like a good groundwork ready for next year on my hair care items. Next I have on my list is all my primers. I want to get all of these used up next year, and I think that that's very possible. I have one full size here, which is my Mary Kay Oil Mattifier. I'm currently working on this one, and I have had this in my Partners in Cream project pan for the last couple of months, but I do really want to get this one used up. It's getting on in age, and I'm getting quite close to having it finished. Then I also have these 3 samples. I do think I have other primer samples lurking around in my collection. I'm going to have to do like a big hunt and gather on that, but I was able to find 3 of them this morning. So I've got one of the Hourglass, what is this? The Hourglass Veil Primer. Then I have the Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, and I have the Tatcha Liquid Silk Canvas here as well. So all of these are minis or deluxe sizes. I think I will be able to get through these really quickly, but I do want to make it a priority to get them done. Moving on, a very daunting task is this box right here. This is my sample box. So this is most of the samples that I have in my collection. I have a few elsewhere lurking around, but I do want to make it an absolute priority to get this box cleaned out. There's some samples in here that have been in here for quite a while, so I do really want to make it a priority to empty this. I think that I will start including samples in projects here and there, just in the attempt to try and get them done and out of my collection, because the box is starting to burst at the seams. It's starting to overflow. It's getting difficult to put samples in there, so I want to make sure that I am getting use out of them. Next up is this one here. This is the Smashbox contour stick. This is the last stick that I have from the 3 stick set that I purchased ages ago. I've already panned the highlighter stick and the bronzer stick, so I still have the contour stick left hanging around. I included this for a bit of a rotation in my Partners in Cream just recently. I do like to rotate through my bronzers or my cream bronzers in that project, but I do really want to make it a priority to get this one done next year, just because I've lost count of how old this is. The formula still seems to work really well for my liking, so I'm still happy to continue to use it, but I really would like to get this one done and dusted. I've made a fairly decent amount of progress on it already this year. These do take a while to get through, so I don't know whether it's possible, because I don't want to just solely use just this one for the whole of 2022, because I do like to get use out of all of my other cream bronzers I have in my collection. So we'll see how we go on this one, but I do think that it's 100% possible that I can at least make some significant progress on it. Next up are a couple of items that I haven't specifically found or specifically chosen the colors from my collection that I want to pan this year, but I am setting myself the goal of using up at least 2 of my Stila Magnificent Metal glitters. I think I'm going to go easy on myself and say they can either be full size or minis. I do have a lot of both, so I think I am going to be a little bit kinder to myself and say it can be either of those sizes, but I do want to pan and completely use up at least 2 of them. I also want to try my hand at panning a liquid lipstick. When I say liquid lipstick, I do have a lot of minis and full size, but I think I'm going to set myself the challenge of panning at least 1 full size liquid lipstick. Again, I haven't chosen the color yet, but I would really like to see myself panning at least 1 liquid lipstick next year. I also have listed 3 glosses on this list as well. Again, I have minis and full size. Ideally, I would like to get some more of those full size products out of my collection, but I do have some minis of, say for example, the Fenty Gloss Bombs, which I really enjoy using, so I might have, you know, a variation of full size and minis when it comes to trying to meet this goal, because I really enjoy the Fenty glosses and I can pan them quite easily. They're quite an easy product to pan when you are using them quite regularly. A powder that I want to get used up, and this is my Nakia Joy Cosmetics Velvet Finish Powder. This has been in my collection for about a year now, so I just want to make sure that I am rotating through my products quite well, especially the categories that I have less products of. I want to keep rotating through because I really want to embed that kind of system into the way I purchase makeup and use makeup. I want to make sure I am constantly rotating through products and using up older items in my collection. So this is probably, I think this is the oldest powder now in my collection. If I do manage to get this one used up, obviously I will move on to another product. I did recently purchase another loose powder. I also have my Charlotte Tilbury pressed powder, and I also have the Charlotte Tilbury like illuminating loose powder, which I only use under my eyes. I'm going to give it a bit of a test out to use all over my face. Ideally, I would like to use up both my Charlotte Tilbury loose powder and this one next year, but I think given that I only use the Charlotte Tilbury powder under my eyes, it's going to take me an eternity to get through that powder because that little jar is jam-packed full of powder. Again, is another one that I haven't specifically decided to grab an item out of my collection with. It's just a goal-based item, and I would like to, in my pan those eyeshadows project next year, my goal for next year is going to be panning at least 24 eyeshadows in that project. That equates to at least 2 a month, and I think that that's very achievable. I think I need to like up the ante just a smidge. I think I need to up the ante just a smidge on the way that I was panning this year, because this year I think I'm just shy of 24 shadows. So it's sitting kind of like in a comfortable zone of I just need to pan maybe like an extra 1 or 2 shadows next year for me to be able to meet that target. A few kind of curveball products. The first one I would like to pan, so this is the Ultraviolet Sheen Screen Hydrating Lip Balm. Last year around Christmas time I purchased the pack of these lip balms. So it came in a pack of 4 of these. It was like one clear one and then 3 tinted ones. I would really like to pan at least maybe 1 or 2 of these this year, because as I said, I purchased them last year around this time, so they're already a year old, and I would really like to make sure I'm getting use out of these and not wasting my money. So I want to make sure that I am focusing on getting some of these done, and I think these are like the oldest lip balm again in my collection, so I want to make sure that I am doing that like rotation cycle. The clear one, I think I'm sitting about halfway already, and I think I have another tinted one somewhere else that I have made a little bit of progress on as well. One skincare item that I have managed to, that I grabbed out of my collection was this face mask. This is the Avène Soothing Moisture Mask. I would like to get this one used. I want to make sure as well that I am using up all of the other masks in my collection. So this was the only one that I could find. I do believe that I have another couple kicking around in my collection, so if I find them, I'll definitely include them in some form of rotation. But next year, again, I want to make sure I'm getting through my really old masks in my collection, and I essentially want to like clean the slate when it comes to face masks, so I can look at purchasing some new ones and testing out some new formulas. And that includes sheet masks. I think I have sheet masks kicking around as well. A few other random items that when I was just looking through my collection, I was like, yes, I want to hit pan or get some use out of you. So these items are products either that I want to hit pan, or I just want to make them look like they have been used, because there's one item in particular that looks like I haven't even touched it. So the first one is from this palette here. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Sculpt palette. This is the Christmas palette, the 6-pan Christmas palette from last year. Out of this palette, I would really like to hit pan on the blush here, Mood Exposure, and I don't think I'm going to do that before the end of the year, but it is getting really low down to the pan around the edge. So I think that there's some chance that I could see the waffle pan quite soon. Ideally, when I hit pan on these products, I don't really feel like accomplished until the pan's sitting like around the middle, because otherwise I just feel like it's kind of cheating, because the way these are set, they're kind of set in a dome, like a baked formula. If you just hit pan on the corner, I just feel like that's kind of cheating. It's not really hitting pan if you've only used like a fraction of the product. So I want to try and hit pan on that. Mood Exposure is one of my favorite Hourglass blushes. I'm actually wearing it today. I think it's a really nice natural color for me. It's really nice and glowy, adds kind of like that youthful glow to my skin, which I really enjoy. So it's kind of one of my go-to blushes when I don't really want to think about what color to wear. Also, again, I have 2 of these in my collection. I have Mood Exposure again in another one of my Hourglass palettes, and maybe maybe at some point throughout 2022 I might try and focus on maybe hitting pan on something else in this palette. Don't know what yet, but maybe something else in this palette. Next is my NARS Laguna bronzer. I freaking love this bronzer, and the reason why I'm including it on this list is just because I love it so much that I really want to include some products on this list that I enjoy. My main goal on this one, I think, is just going to hit pan. So I think if I continue to use it as much as I do, there's already a fairly decent dip going on in there. Like I said, I love this bronzer. I think it looks so beautiful on the skin. It's just such a good bronzer. I really enjoy it, and I don't want it to be wasting away in my collection because I love it so much. I want to make sure that I am getting some good use out of it and not just waiting for like the formula, especially on cream products, because the formula changes quite a lot quicker than powder products. I just want to make sure I'm getting use out of products that I love in my collection. Speaking of products that I love, the Fenty Cream Bronzer in the colour Amber. This year in my Partners in Cream, I hit pan on my cream bronzer from Fenty in Butter Biscuit. So I have Butter Biscuit, which is like a bronzer colour. Amber I find is more like a contour colour. So essentially this one this year, I just want to hit pan on it again as well. I want to make sure I'm getting good use out of these kind of products in my collection, and I do believe that my Fenty cream products are verging on a year, if not longer, being in my collection and open. So, and the last product that I am including on this list is this one. This is my Charlotte Tilbury Film Star Bronze and Glow. I have it in the lightest version. Obviously you can tell I am as white as a sheet of paper, so there's no doubt that I would have the lightest version. I've had this in my collection for quite a while, and I don't know whether you can see, but you can still see the word sculpt, you can still see the word highlight, and you can still see all of the lines in the pen. So this is the main one that for this year I want to make sure, and I want to end 2022 with this product looking like it has actually been used. I have used this, like I promise I have used this, but it does not look like I have used it. So I want to make sure that I end 2022 with this product looking like it has been used and abused. This is an expensive product, so I don't want it to be sitting in my collection wasting away. That's the last one on the list. I've set some very ambitious goals. I hope that I can achieve them. I do like doing these videos, and I do think it's a good idea that if you are interested in getting like some of those older products out of your collection, or I think going through your collection like this, it also does help you identify those products that you want to use up. And it's good to kind of write a list down or put them at the front of your mind, because it really draws it to your attention of either like how old they are or how much you want to get them out of your collection, and it really motivates you to, you know, use them throughout the year. And you can constantly like revisit the list. My list from last year, I have been constantly going back to, and I've been putting like big check marks or crossing them off the list when I have met the goal. And it's like really satisfying to know when you set a goal like the year before or at the start of the year, and 6 months into the year you're able to like mark one off the list, you're able to mark a couple off the list. So I do recommend doing something like this if you are wanting to focus on using products in your collection. Write it down, mark it off when you use it up, and you will feel so accomplished. Let me know down in the comments what products you are hoping to pan in 2022. If you did enjoy this video while you're down there, make sure you give it a big thumbs up. And if you were new around here, I hope you would consider subscribing down below so you can keep up to date on all my beauty content and all my project panning content coming in the new year. That's it for this video, beautiful. I hope that you're having an absolutely fantastic day. I hope that you are staying safe and healthy and looking after yourself. And I will see you in the next video. Goodbye, beautiful.